Hello nature lovers, Jackie here from Eco Endeavor. I am standing in my food forest, which last weekend was completely covered in snow. The snow has now all melted, so I figured it's a great time to get out and do some winter sowing. I mean, the snow is gone, so we may as well start the garden, right? Is it early? A little bit, but you know what? I'm gonna put some plastic on and make myself a little greenhouse in one of my garden beds and see if we can get some of those cold hardy greens to start growing so I can have them before March. Let's see what we can plant today. So this is the planter that I'm going to plant with some early cold hardy greens. And the reason is because I have like my makeshift, I made a DIY hoop house, which actually I realized these, because I just used materials that I had, this is too tall. So I'm going to cut these down to make it a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to throw some plastic on this and hopefully they will grow. So we did have this got down to minus 14. But it kind of looks like my Swiss chard might be okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take out the plants that I didn't think survived. Like this is arugula. And really I should have left the hoop house or like the plastic on. Because I didn't make the hoops properly, it was just getting really full of water and wasn't too great. And I also have some carrots in here. I think it's time to pull these carrots out. They're not going to grow anymore. Oh, that one's not too bad. And yeah, I'll maybe eat these for dinner because they are, like a lot of them, are pretty baby carrots. Okay, well, now I'm pulling out big carrots, but, and they do get really hairy if you leave them in longer, like over frost. So I think it's time to harvest these carrots. And oh my gosh, I have a pea growing. What? Okay, well, we will leave that pea to grow. But yeah, so this is the bed that I'm going to plant in today. And I do over here, this is where my garlic is, and you can see my garlic is starting to come up. That's first, is to just clear out this bed and prep it for some winter sowing. I've got my garden bed all ready. I did leave in some like 3 little baby kale and a few of these Swiss chard. I'm just curious to see if they're going to survive once I put the plastic on and it warms the soil up a little bit. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to plant is the spinach. The spinach is from West Coast Seeds. West Coast Seeds is actually my favorite local brand to buy from for just like generic seeds, I guess. Like they have some kind of rare ones, but not, well, no, I wouldn't even say that. They have some unique varieties. But just for anything like spinach and lettuce and radishes, tomatoes, it's a great place to buy from. So I generally get them from West Coast Seeds. There are a couple other local brands that I buy from, which I will talk about later, but West Coast Seeds is my #1 go-to. And I will link these below. This is the Renegade spinach, which is actually says it's perfect for winter high tunnel growing and also for beginners. So I've already made my little row here, and I decided to do rows instead of the square foot gardening because these are just my winter ones that I will have hopefully eaten all the time by the time I start growing the rest of it. The next seeds I'm going to plant are also from West Coast Seeds. They are the pak choi, and these guys are like great in stir fries. I actually grew these in my hydroponics last year and they did really well in the hydroponics. The garden, they do bolt quite fast, like it was a little bit too hot, so I'm excited to grow these earlier this time to see if I can get a better harvest out of them because they like cool soil, so the soil is definitely cool today. And I did link these below as well. I've noticed that I went to look for these again to buy and they don't have the white stem pak choi, but they have another variety called toy pak choi, so I'm actually going to pick myself up the toy pak choi to see if those are the same, better, different, I don't know. Yeah, pak choi, I just love eating these in stir fries. So I will do another little row of these. Okay, next up I got some radish, the Easter egg 2 blend from West Coast Seeds. I bought these are brand new pack. I just bought them this year. These are a mix of the red, white, and purple, which I think are quite fun. I don't know if I've grown these varieties before. I've grown Easter egg before, but Yeah, so these guys, I feel like because I've got kind of some Swiss chard and kale in here that will get bigger, am gonna plant these kind of just in the square right here. I'm excited for radishes. All right, next up I have this lettuce mix, a cold hardy lettuce mix from Sanit Organics. Sanit Organics used to actually be my favorite farm to buy from at the farmer's market when I lived in Victoria. Their seeds are very, very basic. I wouldn't say they have any rare or any, unique kind of varieties. This one I do like because it has the red oak leaf, like the speckled crisps lettuce in it, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's like a certified organic, local company. I will link their website below as well. So I'm gonna do a row of lettuce next to my spinach here. Mosquitoes already. Yesterday I saw a slug in the garden and a caterpillar already. It's like, I love how on Vancouver Island we literally go from like a week of like snow, like the garden was like just covered in snow. Like we had like 2 feet of snow and then boom, back to spring. So I have these Asian vegetables, soy sim green from Mackenzie Seeds. I actually got these at the thrift store. There was like a whole bunch of seeds and they were like 25 cents a package and I couldn't resist. There's no date on them. I have no idea how old these are. Some of them have been great. I grew like amazing radishes from the thrift store ones, my peppers, like I had a bunch of stuff that were really great. These guys I did try planting last year and they did not grow. So I'm thinking these seeds maybe are not viable, but I figured why not try them. So I'm gonna pop them in here, kind of in between my kale and my Swiss chard, just in case, well, they don't grow. So in this last little section here, I'm gonna be planting Miner's lettuce from Cicada Seeds. Now Cicada Seeds, I will link her website below. Her seeds are amazing. They're all very rare perennial vegetables. So perennial means that you only need to plant them once and they will keep coming back. The 9-star perennial broccoli flower, which actually more identifies as a cauliflower growing, that like survived all of the winter snow and the cold that we had here, that I just had. And I've been eating their leaves like as kale chips. And this year, because it's the second year I've had them, they will produce these little cauliflower type stems that I can eat. So I'm really excited for those and they are just amazing. Like, yeah, her plants are really cool. She's got lots of really weird varieties of stuff that I've like never even heard of before. So Miner's lettuce actually is a native plant. It does grow. I've got some kind of little patches around. I think it actually tastes better than spinach and it's full of vitamin A and C and all sorts of stuff. You generally don't need to sow it. Ooh, the seeds are so tiny. You generally don't need to, like it'll self-sow itself if you leave it in a spot. I'm just gonna broadcast these tiny seeds. So that's what we've got. Miner's lettuce, the cold hardy leaf mixed lettuce, the pak choi, the spinach. Then I've got 4 little rows of radishes, and then some of that other Asian greens in there, which, we'll see if they grow. And I'm just gonna press those lettuce seeds in. I'm gonna lightly cover these. Now next up, what I wanna do is I wanna trim this down a little bit. I think it was just too tall, so I feel like this might be a better height than that height. Because I reused old drip line that I got for free off the marketplace, they've got blockers kind of inside, so it doesn't slide all the way down on the rebar. I made this completely out of reclaimed materials. Okay, so I got this plastic off of a mattress actually, and just kept it to reuse for exactly this purpose. not like perfect, but I think it'll do the trick, and I'll come out and give it some airflow every couple days or every day. We'll see what the weather's like. If it's really warm and sunny, then obviously it's going to need a little bit more airflow. Okay, I have moved inside to my pump house slash tool shed slash laundry slash deep freeze, gardening room, whatever you want to call it. My gardening pump house tool shed. There we go. And here I've got my grow light that I'm going to start some of these leek and onion seeds. So these are quite old seeds, and leeks and onions don't have a good reputation for having long shelf life. I was going through my seeds and like picking out the old ones. I'm going to try them. If they grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't, whatever. And same with these nodding onion. These ones I got, this is an edible native wildflower or wild onion here. And I got these out of a free seed box when I lived in the city. I've had them for a couple years now. It's time to plant them and see what happens. And then I've just got some marigolds. Marigolds are the Mackenzie variety. I'm pretty sure these were from the thrift store. I can't remember now. I grew a lot of these last year from seed. They worked great. I saved a bunch of seeds, so I actually might dig out some of those because I think they're in the shed, in the garden shed here. And yeah, so I'm going to plant some of these as well. Now I'll show you my setup here. Grow light. Like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a setup, and I don't really have the space right now. So I've got my Arrow garden, which is a hydroponics system, and the hydroponics usually sits in here with water, and then you plant the seeds in there. But you can just take that tray out, and then I've got this little rack that's going to raise the plants up, and this is where I'm going to put the starts. And then I do have this is like a lizard, like a heat mat. I'm not going to use a heat mat. I think it's going to be fine in here. I do have some of this like packing kind of material that I think will act as a good insulator. So I will put this under here, and then I will put my seeds on top here, and then I'll throw the lights on. I reused two plastic, seed trays, and filled it with some potting mix. I maybe got it a little bit too wet, so hopefully these won't get too moldy. Maybe I will throw the heater on in here for a couple hours just to help dry this out. So one of them, I'm gonna do the nodding onion seeds. I might even just sow them all in 2 seed packs here. Yeah, just 2 cells. We'll see if they grow. And then same with the leeks. I'm gonna put them all into 2 seed cells because I'm just not confident that these are gonna grow. Oh man, there's a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna really lay them on thick. And maybe I'll save a few because there's a lot in there. I don't need that many. Hopefully they germinate. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? It's just all a big experiment most of the time with gardening. Okay, and then next up I got my marigolds. Now these ones I know they do have a good germination rate. I just love the look of marigold seeds too. They're like, I don't know, they're fancy. Okay. You know, marigolds you can buy in the store, obviously, if you don't want to start them from seed. But like I just never know what you're getting. Like, have they been sprayed? You just never, like, I just never trust. What are you putting on? What are you putting on those flowers? And you get bigger bang for your buck if you do start it, as long as you're not like spending crazy amount of money on equipment and whatnot. Like, I'm reusing all stuff that I've already had. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of potting soil on top. I really should have a flat tray, which I will go look for one right away. For now, hopefully we'll get some marigolds, onions. Uh-oh, no, I'm wrong. Oh well, we'll figure it out when they start to grow. All right, well, that's the start of our winter sowing. If I've inspired you to get started on your garden, check out the links below to get yourself some seeds, and maybe you want to make a little DIY, I don't know what to call this, hoop house, DIY greenhouse, row covers, whatever it is, to have a little kickstart to get those cold hardy greens off to a good start. Then I suggest you try to make one of those as well. I have actually I have a short about how I made this one. And yes, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.